What is going on, guys? Welcome back to BSC Videos, where research and personal experiences meet. Today I wanted to go down more of the research path and talk about volunteer management within sporting organisations. As we know, a lot of these organisations have had to cut their paid staff for obviously cost-cutting purposes, so I thought it'd be interesting to talk about today. Obviously, with more paid staff getting cut, it's going to be really important to retain, attract and satisfy these volunteers. So I'm going to talk about 3 things that sporting organisations can do in terms of this volunteer management. Anyway, I've got Ruby with me. She seems pretty keen to have a walk, so I'm going to take her for a walk now. But we'll keep the video rolling. I'll take it inside with my computer so I can actually recite some of the research for you guys. So we'll see you in there. Okay, let's get into this. The first thing that sporting organisations should do to try and attract and retain volunteers is that they should adopt formalised human resource systems conducive to volunteers. So what I mean by this is basically formulating frameworks and methods for performance feedback that can be communicated between managers and volunteers at regular points in time. There is conflicting research regarding the formalisation of human resource management policies within sporting organisations. I did find that informality can be good for teamwork and also motivation, but then I also found that informal approaches to human resource management can also be seen as problematic. So I guess it would be largely dependent on the personalities you have within the organisation, the sport, and also the composition as well. So I also found other research which did say to help retain personnel, all employees should receive constant support and feedback on their own performance and have opportunities to gain more expertise in their roles through both defined learning and also development programs. The research here exemplifies, I guess, the importance of implementing human resource management practices with volunteers for goal achievement and also effective operations within the organisation. And it also shows that these, seamless feedback systems and human resource management practices, they're really important for developing and retaining volunteers within sporting organisations. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to talk about is the managerial treatment of volunteers. So it's generally accepted that volunteers specifically, they play a major role in assisting sporting organisations achieve their strategic goals. However, they're often treated as second-class citizens within organisations. Their work roles, at times, they're not clearly defined and their contributions are not duly recognised. And so the differences in managerial treatment between these paid employees and also the volunteers is pretty significant, and it kind of results in employee relationships fraught with jealousy, resistance, and also tension. So what I'm trying to exemplify here is volunteer management is actually really important to a sporting organisation, and it needs to be established that these individuals can actually be similarly effective to paid employees in the achievement of strategic outcomes, even if they don't get paid, or maybe they seemingly don't do as much around the club. They're only there every now and then. The information, I guess, connotes that the managerial treatment of volunteers needs to be equally prioritised with other successful volunteering components, such as their training and also the planning provisions. So within sporting organisations, moving into the future, they will have challenges. Probably the main challenge here regarding managerial treatment will be to build a sound participatory base for volunteers and paid employees that rewards, recognises and empowers individuals while meeting the rapidly changing needs of the organisation and its requirements. Alright, so the third and final thing sporting organisations should do to attract and retain volunteers is they should consider investing time into the recruitment of people who have participated previously in the game. So players who transition into volunteering roles, otherwise known as stalwarts, they're becoming more of a requirement within community level sporting organisations as they maintain the club structure which allows for the sport delivery to be effective. It's known that many of these people, these stalwarts, they turn to volunteering to continue their involvement in the sport they enjoyed so much, and they see volunteering as more of an opportunity as opposed to an obligation. Many of these people, they're great to get involved. They're great to get into the club because they already have significant attachment, as they've shown throughout their playing careers, and also commitment as well through the good and the bad times. They volunteer for reasons that are unlikely to promote any tensions between paid employees and volunteers, but they should still be appropriately treated from a managerial sense. So sporting organisations should really look to leverage the previous experience and wealth of knowledge that these people have by placing them in roles where they can excel and contribute to the achievement of strategic goals. And by doing this, it'll give these people, these stalwarts, a real sense of fulfillment, and it will obviously decrease volunteer turnover and result in a really, really positive club culture. Okay, so just quickly talking about my personal experiences with volunteering, because as you know, this channel is all about research and personal experiences. So I previously volunteered at a basketball tournament. It was very temporary, it was only 5 days long, so it was kind of hard to get a gauge for how they were treating us. I mean, they seemed pretty good, so that's all I can really go off. But I've volunteered at this community service for a little bit longer than that, doing sports programs with them, and I have to say I've really enjoyed my time volunteering with them. You know, they've done really well making me feel a part of the team. You know, they've also said that if I have any opinions, that I really shouldn't hesitate to raise them. And it's really good. It's a really good sense of culture there, and it definitely makes me feel a part of it, and it definitely feels even better giving back to the community in the way that I'm able to do. So by treating me appropriately from a managerial sense, you know, they've shown the value that they see in me. But not only me as well, there's also other volunteers that are there doing the sports programs with me, and they've shown that, you know, they really value them giving up their time and giving back to the community. So it's a really enjoyable, relaxed vibe, and I certainly will be volunteering there in future once this whole coronavirus thing ends and we can actually start doing, you know, sports and things. So alrighty guys, there you have it. Those are 3 things that sporting organisations can do to attract, retain and also satisfy volunteers. I'm going to wrap it up here. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit the notifications bell so that you don't miss a video that I put out. Also, if you want to see more of Ruby, I did make a cute little montage earlier in the week, so I'll link that down in the description for those of you who are dog lovers. In terms of this video, there was tons of research regarding this topic, lots of which I didn't include in this video because, let's be honest, we all don't have a spare 10 hours, so feel free to look through those. I'll add those links at the end of the video for you. There's some interesting reads in there if you want to look into this topic any further. But once again, appreciate you all tuning in, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace.